How to quickly check your computer for malware. You can do this I would do it maybe once a month. I call this the three-prong check. The three-prong check is you're going to do a manual check, you're going to do a quick scan with malware bytes, and you're going to also do a scan with Windows Defender, and optionally you can do a cleaning with Glare Utilities and CCleaner. So let's do the check. This will only take about 5 minutes, and then you can let the scanners run, and you don't have to pay attention when that happens. If you get a scan in Malwarebytes that is a potentially unwanted program, you just need to make sure, because those aren't malware per se, but they're programs that Malwarebytes detects as being suspicious. Sometimes those might be programs you want to keep. A lot of times you can get rid of them, but sometimes if you delete it and it's something you need, then you won't be able to use it anymore. So just be a little bit aware of that. But malware usually is hidden on the computer and operates from a distance. So we're going to do a quick check for that. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your folder options are set. So you want to type here to search, type folder options, and you'll see this File Explorer options. It used to be called folder options in previous versions of Windows, but it's called File Explorer options in Windows 10. Click that, and then you just want to make sure that the if you go to the View tab here, I would also change it so your browse folders is an open window on the first general tab. And then go to the View tab. You want to make sure that hidden files and folders show hidden files, folders, and drives. And then you want to make sure the hide extensions is also unchecked. So hit apply, hit OK. All right, and then what you want to do next is type in ms config. Okay, you just want to do a quick check here. Just go to the Startup tab, open Task Manager, and what you're looking for is first you want to see the status of what's enabled. And nothing out of the ordinary, but you want to look for anything unusual. So this is all pretty normal. Sometimes there'll be a fake one, and the way to know that is go to the processes. You want to look for where it's located. Okay, you want to see the process name, and you want to know where it's going. So open file location is the key. It used to be a little easier on previous versions of Windows because it would always show the location in the task manager, but now it doesn't. So what you're looking for, that usually a suspicious location is not going to be on the C drive. It's going to be on the root will go to an app data folder, which is hidden. So, I mean, I know all these are normal. I've checked these multiple times, but the folder is a hidden folder called app data, and it'll be under the C users, and it'll be, you'll have your name here, your username, and then there's a hidden folder called app data, and you can't actually see that folder unless, but we change the settings. So so that see users, and that app data folder is hidden, and whether it's in local, local low, or roaming depends on what Task Manager is telling you. So you would, in theory, have to open up all your processes that have a location here, and just want to make sure that it's going to these that it's not going to that app data. It doesn't mean you delete it if there's a whole nother procedure for getting rid of it and then checking it, because some stuff in the app data folder is necessary, but usually malware will hide in that app data folder. Usually goes to either the local, local, or roaming. I think a lot of times it's in the roaming. So if you find that if there's a fake file there, what they used to do, these malwares used to disguise themselves to look like an Adobe, but it would be like slightly different, like Adobe rs.exe or something. So that's the manual check. You want to just make sure all your current processes are running normally, and that there's nothing unusual in the apps that are running. Okay. The next thing to do is the easy stuff. So you want to run a Malwarebytes scan. I already ran my scan. This is the best way to do a quick automatic check. Run that scan. When you're done with that, minimize, and you want to run a Windows Defender scan. This is usually a more even faster scan. So you get it's like getting two opinions. Do your Windows Defender scan. I think it's actually, you want to right click down here. Oh, they make it so hard to find them. So yeah, you'll have to run a Windows Defender scan. An app. There's Malwarebytes. You can also set it to periodic scanning if you want. Usually it just checks it automatically, I believe. I think they changed it a little. But there might be a button for scanning there. Okay. I think that's probably a good option. Okay. And last is an optional thing you can do. It's also, this is kind of a different video discussion, but you can run CCleaner to clean up your computer's junk files, and you can also run Glare utilities. These are free shareware downloadable files. It's free, or you can get a subscription for the premium version. And you can also do a spyware check. I don't usually do it, but it tends to just give you like that third opinion if you want. And you can clean up junk files and registry invalids. And sometimes that will actually get rid of a malware every so often, but or it at least will give the opinion of Malwarebytes to be a little better if you run the scan after you clean up. You can also do a disk cleanup. This will clean up some more Windows files that these two don't detect. Last but not least, the old-fashioned defrag. So you can do your own. You could add on the performance improvement steps to a Malwarebytes scan and a manual check for malware. Last but not least, you want to, in your web browser, you want to check a few settings before you browse, before you feel safe enough to browse the the web, you want to make sure you have a few settings set up that I am very picky about. And this will help eliminate hijacking, browser hijacking, and it will lower some of the risks associated with web browsing. Doesn't mean you can do anything, but it can definitely help. This is Firefox. I recommend using Mozilla Firefox over pretty much any other browser. It's not the best for media, but it is probably the safest browser to use for what we consider safe. However, there's still some stuff you got to check here. Okay, so on the general tab, there's not too much to do on the general tab. You could ask where to save files. Tends to help a little bit because sometimes malware will get automatically downloaded on some bad websites that you go to. So you could change that if you want. On the home tab though, you should set your own home page. Make sure new tabs are blank page. Don't use the Firefox home as the default. So make sure, and same with any other browser, make sure it's always a blank page for new tabs. With Firefox, I like to get rid of all the extra garbage they have here. Okay, search, I like to make sure that there are basically no search suggestions, no default search shortcuts or anything. Again, these are minor things, but just like little tweaks I like. Privacy and security is the most important thing on any browser, and you want to make sure similar settings are set here for whatever browser you use. So you could go crazy and do the strict protection, but some sites might not work if you do strict protection. It basically blocks everything. If you want to function on the browser, you can leave it as standard. Or if you know what you're doing, you could do custom and set certain things here. Okay, so you don't want to touch that stuff, but let's just do the standard. It's enhanced. You could do exceptions for tracking, but what I like to do is send websites a do not track signal so that you don't want to be tracked always. Make sure that's always set. Cookies, I don't normally touch the cookie data. Probably seems like I should. You could clear it, but then it's going to, it could mess some things up. But make sure logins and passwords are definitely not saved anywhere. Make it a little less convenient, but it's very important that you do not save logins and passwords. Forms and autofill, same deal. Do not have any of this set up. The main thing now is make sure history is set to never remember history. Usually it's custom settings or remember, never remember history. And then once you set that, Firefox will actually ask to restart, and then make sure you clear your history of everything. Make sure this is everything. Okay. Make sure the address bar is all unchecked. There's even some stuff here I could uncheck. Block pop-up windows is checked. Warn when websites try to install add-ons is checked. Make sure this stuff is not checked. Allow Firefox to basically spy on you. You don't want that. And then make sure deceptive and dangerous software sites. Some of this is automatically set, so that's blocked. You don't have to do HTTPS only. Well, most websites are HTTPS, but if you do that, it will add some extra protection for you. And then, don't worry about sync. Okay, so once those settings are set and you've checked your whole computer for malware, maybe it take a little longer, more than a 3-prong check, but like a 4-prong check, it takes you 10 minutes. Do it once a month, and you should feel fairly safe to browse the internet. Enjoy.